I find it a little bit difficult to think about what I would talk about in a video about delay pedals, so today I wanted to try this. Tony let me borrow the Boss Digital Delay DD3, which I've not actually used a Boss delay before today, so I wanted to check that out. And then I thought, well, what about all the other delay pedals that I've got? So in this video, Pigtronix Constellator for a little bit. We're going to look at the digital delay here. Rockett sent me this one, which is interesting because it's like the remake. It was designed by the same guy that designed the original EHX Memory Man, which I think is a pretty legendary pedal. So I'm going to do another video on this at some point. But it's pretty cool because it's like the Memory Man, but with some additional kind of features to bring it into the 21st century or whatever we're in. So thank you to Rockett for sending that one. That's what's making this a sponsored video as well, by the way, is because some of these things were sent to me. Johnny YouTuber. This was another thing that came out recently, which Boss sent over, which is interesting too, for similar reasons. You know, it's got a lot of modern functionality, presets, MIDI and stuff like that. A bit more expensive than some of the other options out there, but doing kind of the impression of the first kind of delay things, right, which came from tape. And the Space Echo, I think, is probably one of the more legendary delay pedals out there. I today actually changed the reverb emulation to the plate, and I was really enjoying that today, and it kind of made me think, I missed something with that pedal, because it's just quite an inspiring sound. So I think you could think about the Boss kind of stuff as, well, like these kind of things, the DD3, DD6, DD7, as your utility delay thing, right? The digital delay, as I'll show you in a sec here, some of them still have kind of, it's like analog but digital at the same time. So they're like little chips that do stuff, right? As far as I'm aware. This kind of has a sound where gradually it gets kind of a little bit chewed up. It's a little bit lo-fi, but not as much as some of the other things. straightforward digital delay, and I think a lot of them come in the form of like a multi-effect type thing, you know, so TC Electronic flashback, something like that. But those I think are really good value for players, and the Boss stuff as well. I think Eric Johnson may have used one of these. Probably you've seen these on a million different boards over the years. But basically it's getting the job done. You can have a longer time, a medium time, or a short time, which is what leads me to believe that there's little chips in there. You can set the feedback to infinite. It doesn't go quite into self-oscillation like some of these other things. Fairly pristine. But over time, if you leave those repeats going, they do start to degrade a bit. But digital delay, I think, has its place. These ones as well, you can use the time, delay time. A lot of these pedals actually, you can use the delay time to kind of make weird sounds, especially if you've got long feedback trails. But Boss DD3, let me know in the comments if you use one of these, if you've got a special trick that you like to do with it. It's got a nice hold feature, which is something that the Free the Tone flight time does as well. You can control that with an external pedal. There's not a lot not to like about the DD3, it's just there's not a whole lot to talk about there, right? The other side of the delay track is like the analog thing, and this is the thing that Lenny bought me for my birthday. I hadn't actually used it till today. This is the Pigtronix Constellator, which sounds like they've not been eating enough fiber, right? And I think this is made up of like BBD chips, like bucket chips, that sort of thing, because you hear like the repeats are quite a lot more dark, quite a lot more coloured. And they degrade in quite a pleasing way, like gradually get less and less top end. I think that is the sound essentially that people like about the analog delay. Other examples of this sort of thing might be the Boss, you know, the purple one, and to some extent I think the Memory Man as well. This one has this little feel button which can change the type of modulation. One of the things that tends to come with these kind of proper analog delays is that you also get a mod thing going on where you can add some chorus and bits and pieces like that. It's pretty cool. This is nice in terms of being quite a mini thing that can fit on any board, and I'll probably explore that a bit more as well. I was quite impressed by kind of how lush the kind of darker repeats. Can't do that pristine thing, and you can't really affect the tone on it too much, so it's kind of a one job thing, right? The Memory Man thing, is interesting in a few ways. So you've got the modulation, which is switchable. You can turn on or off the delay, and you've got a tap tempo as well. The modulation, you've got depth and speed controls and other things, time and repeats. There's also, you can put in an expression pedal for repeats and an expression pedal for time, so you could really make this into quite a powerful noise making device. I've also been enjoying using the tap tempo to kind of change the pitch of repeats, so you could use this for sure for some more creative kind of delay stuff, and you'll probably see that in a bit. But again, slightly darker repeats on that. I think the Memory Man was initially designed to be something like a tape echo, right? But yeah, pretty cool. The downside, I think, of some of the analog and, you know, simpler pedals is you don't have presets or access to them. The plus side of this is that you got tap tempo, so that at least you can kind of set up a few different bits and pieces, or, you know, punch in a few different bits and pieces if you were using this for gigging. And stereo, left out, left and right. Only has mono in, yeah, left out and right out. Interesting. The thing that's cool about something like the Boss is that you've got some more of the modern functionality. So you've got things like memory slots, so you can have manual 1, 2, 3, 4. You've also got loads of options like new and age tape. You've got saturation, wow and flutter. This is basically like the sort of thing that you get in the Fractal Audio stuff or the Helix stuff, where you've got loads of tweakability over the sounds of the delay and stuff. In here you can change the reverb as well. So this to me is like kind of top tier. Beyond this you can use, and I do, and I think this is probably a cheaper way to get some of the same sorts of results. If you bought like a Fractal Audio FM3 or a Line 6 HX Stomp, HX Effects, you can get access to all of these kinds of sounds in one pedal, or even the Boss DD500 and all that sort of stuff. But I guess it's not quite the same thing, it's sort of cheating. But to have all of this access on the knobs, it's really cool. And also, what have we got? 5 presets on the actual pedal and 127 accessible by MIDI. We've got expression pedal inputs, and we've got these cool hold features. Once I changed it over to that plate reverb, I'm really enjoying that. The quality of the repeats and stuff, it's really pretty stuff. So yeah, I think the Space Echo RE202 might be worth a look if you can get one. Quite expensive, but I guess you know what you're going to be getting in terms of Boss quality, and yeah, it's quite a nice unit. The other kind of things that I think, if you're thinking about grabbing a delay pedal, that are worth considering are something like the DL4, you know, where you've got multi-effects. Also the Strymon Timeline builds on this kind of idea, where you've got access to all of these emulations and kind of the benefits tonally of some of the others, but as well as having the kind of digital, you know, you can set up presets, you can plug in expression pedals. You can do all sorts of stuff with the delay modeling type devices. So like the Strymon Timeline, I think would probably be the best considered one of these, or Source Audio or something like that. I don't have any of them. I've got this DL4 here on loan, and I've also got the DL4 Mark II, which is really nice as well. It has MIDI and a mic pre-input, which is interesting, and also can run reverb and delay at the same time, and this one has a looper. That was kind of what's cool about the DL4. I think this was the first delay pedal to have a looper, which the Strymon Volante actually deserves a shout out here as well. I don't have some of these pedals anymore, but I think I have had experience with them, and I would say the Strymon Volante is really cool as well for a lot of this stuff. But for more kind of creative looping, these things are great, I think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What are your favorite delays and why? Or do you use other delay pedals, or do you only use modeling delays? Do you find there's like something missing from them? Personally, I tend to use modeling delays much more than these real delay pedals, but occasionally it is nice to get down and physically move the buttons and move the knobs and make some weird sounds, right? And I think that's what delay pedals, the good ones, can be really good for. They can be these great creative tools, especially like the DL4, DL4 Mark II as well. You know, that is building on that idea. The Strymon Timeline is great and has some really cool sounds on it as well. So yeah, you probably need a delay pedal, right? What's your favorite type of delay as well? Do you like these kind of do it all things, or do you prefer to have something simple, just plug it in and go for it? Are you one of these bucket types with the analog style stuff? What do you reckon? What do you use your delay for? I think also there's a thing about the slapback delay. That's certainly something that these types of pedals are really good for, the analog pedal, where you've got those darker repeats that don't get in the way. That can be a really good use for those. What delay pedals do you think I should check out on the channel? One that I'm quite interested in recently, and I don't normally get that interested in delay pedals, is the Andy Timmons Halo, because that's blending kind of delay into reverb with diffusion and stuff. I'm sort of tempted to try one of those. Let me know in the comments if you think I should. I'll catch you in another video soon. Delay. Oh, I also couldn't do a video about delay without mentioning one of my favourite VST delays, which is Valhalla Supermassive, which is an incredible little delay reverb thing. Sounds really, really cool and is free. Go and check it out.